per month with high ticket sales. So in today's video, we're going to have a quick recap in terms of where I'm at so far at the month and how the journey has been coming back to my previous fitness offer. So in the last video, I mentioned that when I started taking calls here again, they limited me to about 5 calls per day. And now I'm able to take a lot more per day, maxing out my calendar. So that's been for the past few days, past couple of days. So it's been good though, even though I was only taking like 5 calls a day maximum. I was still closing deals. I was still getting sales and doing pretty good in terms of when the sales with the calls I was taking. So, and what's nice is that my AOV is a lot higher so far for the month, meaning that the average sale I close is higher than what it used to be last month or the previous month I closed here. So I'm very excited because we're only 9 days into the month and already I've made more than half of my biggest month so far in sales, which is phenomenal. So I know that obviously now that I'm taking more than 5 a day, I can max out my calendar. I know without a doubt that this month is going to be my next biggest month in sales in terms of like commissions. So I'm anticipating to definitely hit 10K per month this month, at least 10K this month. It would have been nice if I wasn't restricted to just 5 calls at the beginning of the month. So I missed out on some opportunity there, but nothing I can do about that now. It's just about the impact I can make with the calls moving forward. So overall, the calls I am closing are very good calls. I feel like my state is a lot better in terms of like just overall confidence I have in my calls and not being attached from the outcome, just being there to follow my process and stick to my process and not caring about the outcome. And I've personally noticed my prospects feel that. They feel my conviction and they feel my confidence. And that's what also is helping them get over the line. People have even told me, like, I asked them, okay, do you feel like this actually can help you get where you want to go? They're like, yeah, okay. I'm like, what makes you feel like it can help you? Then the one lady was like, do you want me to be honest? I was like, yeah, of course. She's like, your confidence. Then I was like, damn, I didn't say that, but in my head, I was like, wow. It just goes to show, especially with these kind of prospects in fitness that have failed for years, sometimes they need someone that can actually help them see the light at the end of the tunnel. They need someone that has strong conviction, strong confidence, and a strong belief in themselves to be able to help that person. And that's what I've been able to do for these people that I'm closing, of course. And I'm helping them, overcome their fears a lot easier. Before, I would have a hard time helping people overcome their fears, especially for people that have struggled for years and years and failed. Before, it was hard for me to overcome that fear on the call, but now it's a lot easier. Like it's I don't even view it as like very hard anymore. So I feel like right now my skill set is the highest it's ever been. My confidence, my state of mind on calls has been the highest it's ever been, and that's amazing because I've done such low volume so far for the month because I was limited to 5 calls, but I'm still in the like, I think I'm like 22nd so far on the leaderboard out of like 150 something closes, 160, 170 closes. So now it's just about really putting the volume in and just keeping my state of mind positive and, my attachment to the sale non-existent basically. If I can just, I know I will do that. That's the key to me, making the money I want to make, and that's what it's going to take from me, is just maintaining that. And I'm really excited to see how the rest of this month plays out because yeah, it's a huge step for me. Like, I know I'm so close to hitting like record breaking months, like 10, 15, $20,000 per month. So I can literally taste it. It's so close. I work so hard for such a long time to get to this position. And now that I have the skill set, the mindset, and the vehicle to do so, and I decided to just stick with this company until I hit my goal. So I'm not gonna change offers anymore, because I have been going from different offers. I have been going to different offers a lot this year. But at the end of the day, there's people on this offer making the money I want to make. So there's no reason for me to go and find another offer. I'm used to selling fitness. I'm good at selling fitness. I don't really have to think that much on my calls. It's become like more so like it feels like now I'm actually just having a conversation with people. Before I would think, okay, I need to close this person. I need to, dig deep into their situation. I need to figure out what questions to ask. I felt like a lot of pressure. I was very overwhelmed before calls, during calls, after calls. If I lose a sale, I was like, fuck, I'd be upset. I let it ruin my mood. But now I'm like just very neutral. I just go there, do my thing, speak to these people. If they follow my process and they decide to fall into frame, then I know, okay, I'm going to pitch them and move on with the call. But if they're not willing to step up and hold themselves to the standard required by me for them to succeed, then they can be gone and I can move on to the next call. So yeah, that's the situation right now of where I'm at the moment, and I'm just really excited for this month to play out. We're not even 10 days into the month. Just today alone, I closed 2 sales. How many calls did I take today so far? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I took 5 calls. I closed 2, and 1 fell financing, which means she was ready to go. It was going to be a $3,000 sale, but she fell financing. I do have a follow-up scheduled with her as well, so hopefully we can sort out that issue and get her across the line. But just today alone, the 2 sales I did close. No objections as well. They were excited to do the program. No objections. That was $7,000 in sales. I closed one 4K and one 3K. So today alone, I made $700, which may seem like a lot, may seem like a little to certain people, but for me, that amount of money is to make in one day. On a decent day, like I only took 5 calls. That's barely anything. I still have more calls lined up for today, but I mean, on a good day, I can take upwards of 7, 8, 9, 10 calls. So the fact that I could make $700 by just speaking to 5 people in one day, in like, what is that, 5 hours, is equivalent to the amount of money I used to make in my 9 to 5 before I got into sales, working a whole month, more hours than I work now, doing a job I don't even like, slaving away. And that to me is like, that's huge. That's real growth. That's real progress that I can be proud of. Obviously I'm nowhere near where I know I'm heading, but that's a mistake I like to make a lot for me. I don't know if I can call it a mistake, but I tend to be extremely hard on myself with the standards I have, and my expectations and what I expect my achievements to be like by a certain amount of time frames. And like now, it's been a goal of mine to make $20,000 a month for quite some time, and every month that goes by that I haven't yet hit it, it obviously doesn't make me feel good inside. But at the same time, I'm making progress towards the goal, and that's easy for me to forget in moments whenever things like that happen. But that's a good thing I've learned to do recently, is to just be, grateful for where you are at this point in your life, you know, the progress you've made, how far you've came so far, because there's a caveat to that though. Like, don't use that as a coping mechanism not to take action and get the big goal, right? Because a lot of people will they will try to justify too much the progress they've made and get too comfortable where they're at currently because they've made such big progress in the past. And then what they find is that they're in this bubble where they're telling themselves they're comfortable, but then sometimes they're not comfortable, and then they're just up and down, and they never actually get out of that situation. So the point I'm trying to make is always be mindful of what's your big goal to have in your life, and never be satisfied with where you currently are if you know you have more room to go, and if you know you got more juice in the tank, and if you know that you're capable of more and that you want more deep down inside. Right? Because if someone like me, for example, like coming from making $700 a month to now just making that in half a day's worth of work, it could be very easy for me to get comfortable and get complacent and take my foot off the gas, because it's such a huge step from where I once was. That's massive. Making that in a whole month from just what I made in less than half a day. Like half a day now. You know, that's a huge step. So whenever you face big growth in your life, whenever you notice that you're progressing, that you're climbing the ladder, be proud of the progress you've made. Be grateful of where you're at and where you once were and what you've achieved so far, but never lose focus and never lose sight of your big goal. And that's going to be different for every single person. So always stay true to who you are in terms of what you want out of your life. And no matter how much progress you make, don't get complacent and always stay pushing towards the true life you truly desire. So just wanted to share that. Hope that helps someone. And hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, thank you. Thanks for sticking around. As always, if you want to follow my journey a bit closer, my social media links will be down below in the description. So make sure to follow me on social media. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good day and stay safe.